Good morning to Madam Nur Shahida binti Hassan, the lecturer for STID3014 Group C. Our Group 3, we're going to present the Student Hostel Management System. Our group members are as follows, which are Eu Leon, metric number 278038, followed by Gigi Ong, 279806, Kivita Anak Perempuan Batu Malai, 275649, and Sasikala Anak Perempuan Gautaman, 275503 respectively. So, first of all, we are going to present about the entity relation model, which is the business rules. So, I'll hand it over to the next presenter.
Good day, doctor. My name is Gigi Ong and my metric number is 279806. I'm going to present about the entity relational model business rule. This is ER diagram for student hostel management system. Our ER diagram has 10 entities, which is staff, hostel block, hostel room, student, allotment details, payment details, services, food and beverage, utilities, and entrepreneur. All the primary key are stated in the entity as PK and all the attributes are stated clearly in each entity. Now I will present about the relationship between entity. Services is superclass and food and beverage, utilities and entrepreneur as subclass for services, and the relationship is mandatory or. One hostel block have one to many staff. One staff only work at one hostel block. One hostel block has 0 to many students. One student only register in one hostel block. One student can make one to many payment. One payment only belongs to one student. One hostel block has one to many services. One services is belong to one hostel block. One hostel block has one to many rooms. One rooms is belong to one hostel block. One student gets only one allotment. One allotment only belongs to one student. That's all of my part. Thank you.
Hi and greetings to everyone. My name is Sasikala Gauthaman and my metric number is 275503. This is our relational model. There are 8 tables for our database. First one is the hostel block. The attributes are block number, number of rooms, number of students, and the primary key is block number. Second one is the hostel room, which includes room number, capacity, name of student, room status, and block number. In this, the primary key is room number and the foreign key is block number, references hostel block number. The third one will be the student allotment. For this, the two relations, which is the student and allotment details, are merged since it is one-to-one in both sides in ERD diagram. So the attributes are student ID, student name, phone number, age, date of birth, race, allocation ID, check-in date, date of allocation, block number, and room number. The primary key is a student ID followed by the foreign key, block number, references hostel block number, and the second foreign key, which is room number, references hostel room number. Next is the staff. The attributes are staff ID, staff name, salary, phone number, block number. The primary key is a staff ID and the foreign key is block number, references hostel block number. For the payment details table, there are payment ID, total payment, payment status, and student ID. So the primary key is payment ID and the foreign key is student ID, references, student allotment, student ID. For the services, utilities, food and beverage, and entrepreneur tables are combined as service utilities, service food and beverage, and service entrepreneur, as it is a mandatory OR table as shown in the ERD diagram. For service utilities, there are service ID, service name, service PIC contact number, start date, and block number. The primary key is the service ID, and the foreign key is the block number, references hostel block number. For service food and beverage, the attributes are service ID, service name, service PIC contact number, start date, and block number. The primary key for this is the service ID and the foreign key is block number, references hostel block number. The last one is the service entrepreneur, are same as service utilities and service food and beverage, which includes service ID, service name, service PIC contact number, start date, and block number. The primary key is the service ID and the foreign key is block number, references hostel block number. Thank you. Next will be proceed by my other team members.
Thank you for the presentation that has been done just now. So now we are going to present the views for the database, which is the student hostel management system. As in the requirements say that we need to create 5 views that combine 2 or more tables and to drop any view from the views that have been created. So first of all, we are going to create a view for student unpaid status. As you can see right now, we are going to select the student ID and student name and also the payment status from both 2 tables, which are student allotment and payment details, where the student ID for both tables are same and the payment status is equivalent to not paid. So when I execute it, it was stated that there is about 6 students who did not pay the student hostel fees. So we are going to create a view, the student unpaid status. As you can see, when I'm executing it, it says that the command has been completed successfully. So if let's say if I want to drop the view from student payment status from the student unpaid, when I attempt to drop it, the command has been completed successfully and any attempt to redo the drop view execution will result to an error because it is stated that it doesn't exist or that the user has no permission. So next, I'm going to present the student paid status view. As you can see right now, the select from where is also similar to the previous one, which is the student name, ID, payment status, but now with the addition of the total payment, as the payment status is already paid. So as you can see right now, when I select it, you can see right now there are 37 students who already paid their hostel fees, and the total payment has been stated on the table. So when I attempt to write create view for the student pay status, when I execute it, the comments will have been completed successfully. And if I want to drop the view, it is also no problem. But what if I ignore it and do it again the create view part? An error will be executed because there is already an object named student pay status in the database. So if let's say to prevent this problem, so I have to set the drop view, which is to delete the student pay status object from the database. So the view has been dropped. The third one is the students on fully occupied room view. As you can see right now, the student's ID, student name, and room number has been acquired from 2 tables, which are student allotment and hostel room, where the room number is similar for both tables and the room status is equivalent to full. So based on the execution of the program, it is stated that there are 34 students who live in a room that is fully occupied. Notice the room number, which are similar. For example, A1003 and was occupied by Jia Xiang and Min Rong. Therefore, it is stated that since, as we can already mention, this is to ensure that the student list of students that reside on a fully occupied room is shown as the maximum capacity for each room is 2 students. So if let's say if 2 students are in the same room, therefore the room status will be full. If let's say one of the students do not have their roommate, for example, if there is only one student in a room, therefore the occupied room status will be not full. So for example, if I want to create a view and I execute it, the command has been completed successfully. And to drop the view, just try drop view students on fully occupied room and then execute it. The command has been completed successfully. So for example, if I want to show the students that are residing in the single room, there are about 6 students, and notice that the room numbers will differ for every student. So now I'm going to create a view, execute it. The commands have been completed successfully, and now I'm going to drop it back. Drop it back, execute, and the commands has been completed successfully. The final view is the rooms under staff. This is to indicate the number of staffs that are under which rooms did the staff supervise. So we are going to select the staff ID, staff name, room number from the room table, where the block number for both tables are similar, and when you select all the details query, so it is stated that there are 3 staffs that are responsible in supervising block A. So I'm going to create the view, execute it, and the command has been completed successfully. So to drop the view, we are going to drop view student rooms under staff. So execute it, and the commands are completed successfully. So that's all from me, and I'm going to present for the next presenter. Thank you.
Good day, doctor. My name is Gigi Ong and my metric number is 2798806. I want to present about the subqueries. I have created 3 subqueries for this project. The first subquery is select all from student enrollment where student ID in select student ID from payment details where payment status equal to not paid. The reason I create this subqueries is we can use these subqueries to find out the student who did not pay the payment. Now I will run this code. From the output, we can see that there have 6 students who did not pay the payment with their details. The second subquery is select all from staff where salary more than or select salary from staff where block number equal to C30. The reason I create these subqueries is by using these subqueries, we can find staff whose salary is larger than salary of every member of staff at block C30. Now I will run this code. From the output, we can see that there have 4 staff that have salary more than the staff at block C30. The third subquery is select all from staff where block number equal to select block number from hostel block where number of rooms equal to 22. The reason I create these subqueries is we can use these subqueries to find out the staff who work in hostel block with 22 rooms. Now I will run this code. From the output, we can see that there have 2 staff work in hostel block with 22 rooms. That's all of my part. Thank you.
Thank you to the previous presenter. Good day, doctor. My name is Givita, daughter of Batmale, with matric number 275649. Today I will present about the multi-table queries. The first query is select student ID, student name, total payment, payment status from student allotment table, payment details table, where student ID from student allotment table equals to student ID from the payment details table and payment status equals to not paid. This query is used to see which student has not been paid the semester fee. Once I run this query, I will get the output from the columns student ID, student name, total payment and payment status. From here, I can know there are 6 students has not been made any payment for the semester fee with the total payment and the payment status. The second query is select student ID, student name, block number, room status from student allotment table and hostel room table, where room status equals to not full and the block number from the student allotment table equals to the block number from the hostel room table and the room number from the student allotment table equals to room number from the hostel room table. So once I run this query, I will get the output from the column student ID, student name, block number, room status. So there are 6 students' rooms are not full. This will be useful for the user of the student hostel management system to know which room has not been fully allocated and they can allocate that room for the new students. The third query for the multi-table is select student ID, student name, block number, check-in date, payment ID, total payment, payment status. From student allotment table, join payment details on student ID from the student allotment table equals to 279103 and the student ID from the student allotment table equals to student ID from the payment details table. Once I run this query, I will get the output from the column student ID, student name, block number, check-in date, payment ID, total payment and payment status. From here, I can know that the student have made 2 times of the total payment, which is the first time is 2000 and the second time is 313 and the payment status is paid. One student can have many payment ID, that's why the one matching number has to payment ID here. Now I will move to the query using the aggregate function. The first query using aggregate function is select count all as student not paid from payment details where payment status equals to not paid. When I run this query, I will get the output from the database, which is the total number of students who not paid the payment is 6. The second query using the aggregate function is using sum, which is select block number sum salary as total salary from staff where block number equals to C30 group by block number. When I run this query, I will get to know the block number and the total salary. The block number is C30 and the staff who working there and their total salary is 5,700. The last query using aggregate function is select mean salary as minimum salary of staff, max salary as maximum salary of staff, average salary as average salary of staff from staff table. So when I run this query, I will get the output from the database, which is the minimum salary of staff is 1,800, the maximum salary of staff is 2,300, and the average salary of staff is 1986. So this query is used to get the information about the minimum salary, maximum salary, and average salary of the staff who working at that hostel. That's all from me. Thank you.